Hello everyone, and welcome to the Planet Earth channel. Today we're going to talk about rats. Rats are eternal companions of humankind, and at the same time, one of its greatest nightmares. They destroy food supplies, spread numerous diseases, and can even seriously damage buildings. They infiltrate the most hidden corners of human dwellings through sewer systems and ventilation shafts, often unnoticed. They are the first to flee a sinking ship, and for some, there's no greater insult than being called a rat. Yet for others, rats are affectionate pets, creatures that form strong bonds with their owners, recognize their voices and faces, and love them back just as much. And on top of all that, rats are widely used in scientific research as experimental animals. But why rats specifically? And what does all this mean for us? I think it's worth investigating thoroughly and carefully. Let's dive in. Rats belong to a genus of rodents in the Muridae family, comprising at least 64 species. Among the most common are the brown rat, also known as the Norway rat, the black rat, the lesser rat, the long-haired rat, the Kinabalu rat, the Turkestan rat, the silvery-bellied rat, the bushy-tailed rabbit rat, and the soft-furred rat. You could easily say that rats are creatures that appeared on Earth long before humans ever did. They can be found almost everywhere on the planet. In the wild, their habitat is somewhat limited by cold northern regions, but wherever humans go, rats follow. These mammals are incredibly adaptable and often survive even in harsh environments, including abandoned research stations in Antarctica. The homeland of the world's most widespread rat species, the brown rat, is believed to be in East Asia. During the Pleistocene, advancing glaciers and a global cooling event isolated rat populations in what is now eastern China. To the east and south, their movement was blocked by seas, to the southeast by the mountainous tropical forests of Indochina, to the west by the arid plateaus of Central Asia, and to the north by the massive ice sheets of Siberia. Because of these natural barriers, the brown rat's dispersal only truly began in the Holocene. With the onset of a warmer climate, their spread through river valleys was very slow. Over 13,000 years, they didn't get farther north than the Altai Transbaikal or southern Primorye. So how did rats end up everywhere? Their global conquest was made possible, of course, by humans, especially via maritime travel. They first arrived on the Indian subcontinent no earlier than the 1st century BCE. From there, they were carried by Arab sailors to the ports of the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, and East Africa. But it wasn't until the 15th and 16th centuries, with the rise of European maritime trade with India, that rats began a rapid migration into Europe's more favorable climates and settlements. By the 19th century, brown rats were present in every European country. In the New World, North and South America, they appeared and spread during the 17th and 18th centuries. They were also brought from Europe to the coasts of Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Today, the brown rat is the dominant species of the Rattus genus in Europe and North America. These members of the murine family have a typical rodent body structure, sturdy and oval-shaped. Adult rats can grow to be 8 to 30 centimeters in length, with a weight ranging from 40 to 510 grams. Some species stand out significantly due to their size or habitat. The undisputed champion in size is the giant Bosavi woolly rat, discovered in the forests of Papua New Guinea. It dwarfs all its rodent relatives. The body length of a rat can reach up to 1 meter, with the tail measuring up to 30 centimeters. A rat's face is pointed and elongated, with small eyes and ears. In most species, the tail is completely hairless, covered in scales with sparse bristles. However, black rats are distinguished by their tails, which are fully covered in thick black fur. The jaws of these rodents are armed with prominent pairs of incisors that are noticeably larger than the rest of their teeth. Their molars are tightly packed, allowing them to quickly and efficiently grind food. Between the incisors and molars is a toothless gap. Rats have no canines, even though they are omnivorous mammals. Rat incisors grow continuously, which requires constant gnawing to keep them in check. Otherwise, the animal would be unable to fully close its mouth. This is due to the fact that their incisors lack roots. The front part of the incisor is much harder than the back, as it is coated with strong enamel. As a result, the teeth wear down unevenly, giving them a chisel-like shape over time. Rat teeth are so strong that they can easily gnaw through brick or concrete, even though evolution originally shaped them for processing plant matter. Although rats do have calluses on their paws, they are poorly developed. Many animals rely on these for better grip on various surfaces, but rats compensate for this with their agile and grasping toes. This allows them to lead both a ground-based and semi-arboreal lifestyle in the wild. Rats are incredibly agile and resilient creatures. For animals of their size, they are excellent runners, capable of reaching speeds up to 10 kilometers per hour and clearing obstacles as high as 1 meter. On average, they can cover up to 12 kilometers per day. They are also strong swimmers and divers, and are even capable of catching fish. Rats may take shelter in burrows abandoned by other animals, as well as in artificial hideouts or bird nests. If necessary, they are fully capable of digging their own burrows. Rats can easily lead solitary lives or form family groups and territorial communities. A single colony may consist of several hundred individuals, organized under one dominant male and a few dominant females. Each colony can control a territory of up to 2 square kilometers. Their vision is poor, with a narrow field of view, about 16 degrees. To compensate, rats constantly move their heads, scanning their surroundings. It is believed that rats see the world in shades of gray and perceive total darkness as a red hue. However, their senses of smell and hearing are extremely well developed. They can detect sounds at frequencies up to 40 kilohertz and can distinguish scents even at short distances. Notably, rats can tolerate radiation levels up to 300 roentgens per hour without much trouble. Rats are omnivorous rodents, but their diet depends on their environment and way of life. Each rat needs about 25 grams of food per day. They do not handle food shortages well. Typically, a rat will die within 3 days without food. Even more critical is the lack of water. To maintain proper physiological function, a rat needs to drink up to 35 milliliters of water daily. Rats are physiologically better adapted to food sources high in protein, therefore they require animal-based nutrition. Brown rats, for instance, do not store food. In contrast, black rats primarily consume plant-based foods. Interestingly, rats have an excellent sense of satiety. Even when starving, they never overeat. When rats settle near human dwellings, they feed on whatever food is accessible. Rats living far from people can hunt and consume small rodents, mollusks, amphibians, bird eggs, and even chicks. Those species that inhabit coastal areas feed on the gifts of the sea, everything washed ashore by the waves. Rats, regardless of species, reproduce at a very high rate. This is due in part to their early sexual maturity. Females have short gestation periods. In a single year, a mature female can give birth to up to 40 pups, with each pregnancy lasting around 3 weeks. Rats have many natural predators, as they are part of the diet for numerous carnivorous animals and birds. In some countries, rats are even eaten by humans, a controversial topic for many, although experts claim that they just need to be prepared properly. All this, dear friends, refers primarily to wild rats, but there are at least 2 species of rats that are considered synanthropic. That is, they can no longer imagine life without humans. These include creatures like cockroaches, houseflies, mice, and bedbugs as well. The human-rat conflict has lasted for millennia. Today, this battle has an official name: deratization. Despite their notorious reputation in Europe and other parts of the world, including the Americas, in several Eastern cultures, the rat is revered as a sacred animal, symbolizing wealth, wisdom, and prosperity. The rat's negative image is mostly linked to several historical plague epidemics in Europe, for which rats were believed to be among the primary carriers. Although truthfully, those outbreaks occurred during times of horrific sanitation, which no one seemed particularly eager to change. Rats are also responsible for severe economic damage, as they destroy or consume various goods, both food and non-food items. They chew through electrical insulation, causing fires that claim human lives and damage property. Some rat species are devastating to agriculture, as they destroy crops and entire harvests. As a result, farmers use various various methods to protect their fields from rodent invasions, sometimes by repelling them, other times by exterminating them physically. Today, rats pose a serious public health threat since they can transmit dangerous pathogens. Part of their danger lies in their ability to silently infiltrate homes through sewer systems and ventilation ducts. And yes, their favorite entry point into our homes is through pipes. They can squeeze through openings as narrow as 4 centimeters in diameter. And let's not forget, they're excellent swimmers. Combine those two skills and you get a creature that could one day emerge straight from your toilet bowl. Encounters with a rat perched on the rim of the porcelain throne are not as rare as you might think. In the Middle Ages, rat-based torture methods were among the most terrifying, and today, urban dwellers whisper horror stories about abandoned subway tunnels populated by giant rats said to be capable of attacking and killing a person. Urban legends aside, a rat really can attack a human. It doesn't happen as often as in horror movies, but it's not exceptionally rare either. According to specialized studies, about 1 in every 100,000 people is bitten by a rat each year. That adds up to roughly 100,000 rat attacks on humans annually worldwide. Another statistic suggests that only 1 in 36 victims actually report a rat bite, meaning the real number could be as high as 3.5 million rat attacks on people each year. In third world countries, in slums and impoverished areas where rats are plentiful and food is scarce, these animals often gnaw on the heels of sleeping people or even attempt to bite soft body tissue. On the other hand, many poor residents in these same areas hunt rats for food, and such hunting inevitably leads to bites from the rodents. But even here, we shouldn't speak of rats as creatures out to kill or maul humans. They are simply rodents that bite either sneakily, evaluating a person as potential food, or in self-defense. The outcome of such an encounter usually depends on the rat's intent. A rat is small compared to a human, although fear tends to magnify everything. Understandably, a small animal will only attack a much larger one in exceptional situations. Most commonly, a rat will attack a human if it feels threatened or if it's protecting its young. That's when the old saying about the bravery of a rat cornered against a wall becomes very relevant. The second situation in which a rat might attack is extreme hunger. A starving rat might try to bite off a piece of human skin or even flesh, but only if the person is completely helpless or immobilized, such as a young child, a sick individual, or an adult who's tied up or unconscious for some reason. A cornered rat defending its life doesn't aim to eat its attacker, but rather to frighten them off. Such a rat will leap and emit high-pitched squeals. It can also bite, and quite painfully. Scientists have measured the bite force of the brown rat. Its incisors can exert a pressure of up to 500 kilograms per square centimeter. That kind of jaw strength allows rats to gnaw through metal wires, so slashing a human palm down to the bone is not difficult for them. Unless there's a real need to catch the animal, it's much wiser to simply let the rat escape. Rats are known carriers of diseases like leptospirosis, rabies, tularemia, and murine typhus, and it's not always the bite that causes the infection. Often touching food with hands that previously came into contact with rats is enough. Nowadays, people mostly fight rats with poison, but this method poses environmental risks. Other animals and even humans can be poisoned by rodenticide. Scientists have also discovered that in some cases, rats develop immunity to specific poisons, which makes it unclear who's actually poisoning whom. So yes, we've piled on the horror. Does that mean rats are just evil and useless creatures? Absolutely not. Rodents actually occupy a significant niche among the most popular pets. While many wild members of this family provoke fear or disgust, domesticated rats are often beloved companions. Pet rats are easy to care for, which makes them popular among rodent lovers. Thanks to selective breeding, there are now several varieties of domestic rats suited for life in the home. Despite the poor reputation of their wild cousins, domesticated rats possess many positive traits. Like all rats, they are intelligent, spatially aware, and easy to train, but they are far less aggressive. They're curious, playful, energetic, deeply loyal, and affectionate. They genuinely bond with their owners, recognizing them and missing them when they're gone. Rats are clever. They learn their names and pick up both good and bad behaviors quickly. For instance, they instantly figure out how to open their cage doors and escape to freedom. By the way, speaking of unique traits, there's a story. Maybe it's not entirely true, but I like it anyway. The gray rat, or Norway rat, shows remarkable problem-solving skills, especially in situations where the eye sees, but the tooth can't reach. For this rodent, it seems there's no such thing as an unsolvable problem. Once at a dairy warehouse, some rats found a highly creative way to get to the contents of sealed kefir bottles. Opening the foil lid was no challenge for them. Then one clever rat would perch on a neighboring bottle, lower its tail into the opened one, pull it out, lick it clean, and repeat the process again and again until it was full. But beyond sneaky kefir tasting, rats have made a truly massive contribution to science. Preventing and treating human diseases is a key mission of modern biomedicine, and rats have become irreplaceable allies in this mission. They share many similarities with humans: blood composition, tissue structure, and physiological responses to various stimuli. That's why rats are ideal models for studying human diseases, investigating pathological processes, developing medications, and creating preventive treatments. Yes, we're talking about the unsung heroes of science, rats whose very lives push progress forward in medicine and biology. Rats are one of the main experimental models used in biological and medical research. Over the years, scientists have developed special lab-bred rat strains. Thanks to their rapid metabolism, adaptability, and docile nature, rats remain essential in many fields of biology to this day. A significant number of scientific experiments are conducted on lab rats across multiple disciplines. Unfortunately, most of these animals do not survive the process. In rare cases where the rats do make it through, some are adopted as pets, but more often they are euthanized under anesthesia and disposed of. Animal rights activists have long opposed animal experimentation, and rightfully so. Their efforts have at least led to progress. The only real alternative at present is to reduce the number of animals used whenever it doesn't compromise the reliability of the data. For example, in the past, researchers had to euthanize hundreds of rodents at various stages of tumor development. Now they can track disease progression in a single rat using fluorescent markers. Scientists still can't completely eliminate animal testing. Alternative methods are often prohibitively expensive, not yet widely validated, and can't fully replicate living organisms. Still, a rat's life is a life, however small. So, to sum it all up, rats are truly remarkable creatures, and not all of them are harmful to humans. Sure, the pest control industry is worth billions, but wouldn't it be more effective to tackle the root problems, like open garbage dumps? If rats had less access to food, they would naturally reduce their numbers by reproducing less. If humans addressed issues like waste disposal and poorly maintained sewage systems, we'd see real improvements. In the end, we are the ones creating problems for ourselves, and too often we refuse to solve them. Rats are one of the clearest examples of a species that has spread globally thanks to us, adapted brilliantly to human-altered environments, and will likely continue playing a vital role in future ecosystems. If we're not careful, they may even outlive us. Watch, listen, take notes, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. You've been watching Planet Earth.